Great. So thanks for joining, Dave. Okay, great. So firstly, Teals, thank you so much for setting this up and the partnership with Sophie and Mel and the Holistic Healthcare Group. We're really excited about this. It's been something we've been searching for as a group to help support our corporate and private clients, but mainly our corporate clients. For those of you that know Sophie and don't know the Will You Financial Group, we are a financial services group that offer services all in one place. So originally started out in about 4 years ago as a asset management, private client advisory stockbroker, and the group has grown out into foreign exchange, international payments, life and health insurance to private and corporate clients, and more recently Will You Insure, which is the general insurance arm of the business, and actually a connection that came through our Will's part of the business, Sophie, and meeting MELP and the Holistic Healthcare Group. So it's so nice to, we for those of you who don't know, we searched the market for providers, and Sophie and MELP were by far in a different league of their own in what they offered to our corporate partners. So really what we want to do is obviously screen from the rooftops. It's going to take a little bit of time for people to transition over and see the real value in what we are doing. But today was really about getting you on, Sophie, for you to tell us more about it, and hopefully some of your clients have joined to sort of see what we can do as well, and how this partnership is going to work. So I am going to pass over to you girls, so you probably won't hear a lot more from me today, which is probably a massive bonus for you. But if there is any questions that I have, or anybody that does pop in, I will also share them with you girls as well. So I'm going to be quiet. I'll probably mute myself to make it better. But thank you so much for joining us, Sophie, and over to you, Tills, to ask the questions.
Yeah, well, thank you, Craig. So, Sophie, I think the best place to start would be your background and sort of how MELP came about.
Absolutely, yes. So my background is actually in Chinese medicine. And I studied Chinese medicine and acupuncture a long time ago now. And through that journey, learned a lot about emotions, mental health, and physical ailments, and everything really, and how they all connect. And I took a keen interest in mental health at that point, and ended up writing my research dissertation on bipolar disorder. So I went into private practice, specialising in mental health, and done that for a while. But what I really realized quite early on was the need for lots of therapies working together. I had a great practice and got many people better, but there is no therapy out there that's going to fix 100% of the people 100% of the time. So you can't really work with the one size fits all model. So I started to make connections with other therapists and therapy types, and learning a bit about them. And I've done some further training in CBT and the science of wellbeing and things like that. And then that kind of brought me on to create the Holistic Healthcare Group, which has always been a very holistic hub, if you like, of different therapists working together, and also having referral points between each other, so that if you're not getting the right result with somebody, you know where to send them, which will be to somebody else that can help. And then when COVID hit, we were very person-to-person based before, as most therapists was, and most of us were really not keen on trying to go online, because we always worked in person. And then when it happened, we all went, oh no, actually it's not that bad, it's actually really works really well. So that kind of opened up my eyes a lot to what then is possible. And again, when COVID hit, then we put lots of stuff online. So we put loads and loads of courses online, workshops and advice bits and classes and things. And people really loved it. But the feedback we got was that they wanted it to be on their timetable, not ours. So this was all scheduled stuff on Zoom. So then we think about recording everything and putting it on a platform. And if you're going to do that, then why not turn it into an app? And that's how MELP came about, really. So we went about doing all the filming, all the different techniques. And again, it's holistic. So it's not just got one therapy type on it. You're not just getting the meditation or the mindfulness or the yoga or counseling. It's got all of it on it. And really easily accessible tools, cost effective and easy to use.
Yeah, no, it's a great app. It's really easy to use as well. What I'm going to do is I will actually try and share what I have.
Whilst you're doing that, Tills, Sophie, where did the name come from? What does MELP stand for?
So my brain didn't go too far with that one, unfortunately. MELP stands for mental health. So M for mental and then help. I
was going to ask that as well, because I've been thinking for ages. I was like, M stands for, E stands for, and then I was like, I think it's just help, but MELP. So I believe you can see the screen now. So this is me inside sort of the MELP app. Can you see that, Sophie?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want to talk through, obviously this is when you are signed up, this is sort of what you see.
Yeah. So this is the desktop version, right? So it's what's it called? A web accessible app as well. So you can either do it on your desktop or your phone, and download it either way. So at the top there, you have the little heads, and this is all about how you're feeling. So these are just the different search functions. So you can, there's a list of different feelings there, whether you're feeling anxious, stressed, you have a low mood, all of these common things that we come up with all the time, just general emotions. And you can click on any one of them, and then it will take you into a whole list of different therapy types, different techniques, from hypnotherapy. There's food stuff in there, what foods affect your mental health, meditation, mindfulness, there's counseling techniques, and it will take you through that. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you just think, I just need to go and have a look at something to make what might help for stress or depression, then you can go in there and have a play, if you like, and trial things. And then it leads you on to this, which is the where you can play video, and you can also, there's a favorite section there, you can save it to your favorites. This is hypnotherapy. Yes, that's it. So it's quite small on my screen. I haven't got my glasses on. So that's an audio. So there's no the hypnotherapy audios just play audio, because that's what they are. And this is the booking link, so you can book direct with therapists on here as well. Should you decide you need extra support, and you get 10% off as a MELP member.
Yeah, it's really, really, really user-friendly. And I really loved when I came on here and I saw this, because sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, I know I'm feeling a bit down. Actually, yeah, this is where I'm at. And you click through and you're like, okay, I want to follow these things. And if you do want to carry on and take it further and book, it feels a very confidential space. It's all there, the streamlined booking. You're not having to chop between this app, that app. Oh, I fancy some meditation, I've got to download that app. Oh, I want hypnotherapy. It's kind of all in your pocket. It's all there. And if you need to go further, you've got that. And you've also got down here coaching, counseling, EFT, and more things as well. And it's, got it all here. Let's go counseling. You can click on. It's just nice to have a little look around. You've got kind of all of the things that people might want to look at.
Tills, I think one of the questions in this, I might be jumping ahead a little bit quickly here, but Sophie, what have you found has been, within organisations and from employers' point of view, right the way through to employees, that they've really found has been really helpful for them? Because I think, obviously, what we realised when we've done a few sort of mental health courses via the Will You Wellness brand of the business is that we did various polls and asked various questions to our employees, our team, and again in the organisations that, who would you rather speak to? Would you try and get some advice or some guidance from, someone inside the organisation, or would they prefer to have someone external or user-friendly app and things like that? And I guess, it probably would be great to sort of understand a bit more of the background and, how long MELP has been going, but also, what they find is the most, important part of that and the real benefits those organisations, see from that. That'd be great.
Yes, definitely. So MELP's been around since last year. So we started working with people on it then, and it's done 100 and further development already based on feedback. So it's a constant moving tool. But I think with businesses, there is a massive need out there to help support people and drive to keep good employees as well. I think there was a study done in 2019 that said 1 in 5 employees left their employment because of stress. So it is something that needs to be tackled. And there's also a lot of information out there to say that employees don't necessarily want to talk to their employers about it. And it is difficult. And there is a slight conflict of interest as well, even within the HR. So if you can imagine, they're dealing with disciplinaries, they're dealing with hiring, with firing, and then they're going to ask someone about their mental health. I mean, is that person going to feel comfortable is the question. And having an outside company deal with that for you means that there's no question around confidentiality, basically, that we're solid on our own, and we're therapists. We're not allowed to talk to anybody about this stuff.
Yeah, I think that's also really important that you and your team are all highly qualified therapists. It is all confidential, and it is easily accessible in your own time, as and when, which is one of the main reasons we really loved, what we saw with MELP and wanted to sort of partner with you.
Yeah, with that as well, I think MELP particularly, obviously we offer all sorts of other support as well with MELP, but the actual app itself, with the information we've gathered so far compared to therapy options that we offer, which 70% women take up, 30% men, MELP is actually pretty split down the middle. So men are really keen on this because we all know not so keen on talking all the time or coming to, so it gives them that accessibility to help without having to go over that hurdle of going to talk to somebody, which is really important because men need this support as well.
Definitely.
That is a really good point. I think a lot of guys will bottle it up and don't feel they want to take problems home or actually take time off work to go and see somebody. It's actually a really important point, is that if somebody's got something in their pocket they can go and try and do, or not if self-diagnose as much, but they'll self-cure or do something that actually is a bit of time back. Now we're back on the train doing some reading or meditation or whatever that may be, is a really important part. Is there any bits in particular that you obviously I'm guessing engaging inside the app you get a chance to see sort of what gets used the most and what sort of content gets used seen the most? I think a lot of the questions that I would get asked if I went in to see someone is like, what can we see, what can we do? And I think always for me is trying to answer the obvious questions is, what is the most used parts in the app? What are you seeing as being used the most, Sophie, within MELP?
Yes. So at the moment we're seeing quite a range of things being used, actually, but we're seeing some stuff around counselling and motivation and overwhelm being looked at quite a lot, which is understandable, I think, at the moment. Something we're seeing a lot in clinic as well. And our NLP is really popular. There's one on there called the Grateful Album, which people download a lot. And also the meditation and the EFT. So EFT is emotional freedom technique, and it's tapping. So it's
tapping.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's so good. It's so good. I'm really a big fan of that.
It's such a useful tool as well. It's something you can do for yourself, and it's so easy. But yeah, so that's kind of what people are looking at the moment a lot.
And how often are you updating the content? So if people are going on and using the content and seeing stuff, I mean, there's a lot of the stuff reusable where you're updating quite regularly. How does that work?
So we update every month. So there's new therapies going on, or new tools going on every single month. There's it's well over 100 in there now. I think it's about 130 and there's worksheets, audios, videos, and like more and more every month. So we're filming constantly and getting new content constantly and brainstorming constantly to see what we're all seeing at the moment and what people need and all that sort of thing.
Great.
We've got a question here from Helen. Do you do any group therapy online?
Not on the virtual clinic, but that is something that can be set up quite easily for businesses. So yeah,
Great.
via our systems it can be.
Okay, cool. Tils, was there any other questions that we had inside?
I was just going to ask from a business perspective, because for our clients, we think it's an incredible tool. We would like, for them to roll out within their companies. When a business comes to you, how does that timeline look? What's sort of the process? And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the process is fairly simple, really. If it's just MELP, but first of all, we will discuss what's going on within the business, what the concerns are, and see if there's anything additional that's needed. But if with just MELP, it's very, very easy, actually, because it's just a system of us taking everyone's email addresses and then getting all of their logins out to them. We obviously do some introduction webinars. We also do a habits building webinars, because we recognize that even having a tool, that is not even half the battle. You can have the tool and never use it, which is pointless. So the idea is that we use the onboarding process to get as many people using it in an effective way as possible and building healthy habits. So there's a lot of guidance around that. And then it's kind of just regular check-ins to see how things are going, see if there's any additional support needed, see if that we want to do a kind of a re-onboarding to make everyone kind of get on board again. You know what it's like, you kind of go through this with habits, don't you? So sometimes there's reminders needed. And also on the way of reminders, we send out blogs and e-magazines every month to everybody, so they get, and it's always on certain mental health topics, and they get tools and techniques sent to them as well as on the app, so that it gives them stuff if they haven't looked, but then also reminds them that actually this stuff is on the app, so you can go and check that out as well.
Perfect. And what are the new future plans for where you're heading for both MELP and the Holistic Healthcare Group?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, with MELP, there's going to be lots of courses coming on. So that was where we got on our last brainstorming session. To start building a section full of courses. So instead of just dropping in and dropping out, which is fine, that'll all stay there and still be updated. There'll also be, if people want to kind of get involved in the process of a course as well, with not long sessions either. People don't want to do too much. There's also going to be HR resources in there. So we're writing a lot at the moment to try and support HR when putting plans together and helping them decide what to actually look for. And I mean, not to do with businesses so much, but there's teacher resources going in for teachers as well, because we also work with schools and children's resources as well. But there'll be kind of subsections so people can get access to what they need, really, rather than having to have all of it. But it's under constant development, so it's going to be updating all the time.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think that's a great point, actually, Sophie, which I'm glad you just sort of raised that point, is that you work with a lot of schools as well, don't you? There's a lot of you work with schools. Just to go a little bit around that, because I know when we put this back out, we have a few clients who are teachers and things like that, which I think could be beneficial for them. Just explain. I mean, is it the same app that you use for schools? Do you tailor it to them? What do you do with that for those guys, Sophie?
Yeah, so it's probably worth mentioning as well at the moment, actually, that 10% of all of our profits go straight to our not-for-profit business that provide MELP to schools without budgets and schools that that need help but can't access it. So there's that side of things as well. But with schools at the moment, when we work with the younger ones, it's very much we do teacher training, help them build tools and techniques into their day seamlessly. If there's any teachers listening, don't stress out. It's not going to give you another job to do. The idea is that we make it easy and it fits in with what you're doing, and we're always here to help. With MELP, it's year 9 and above at the moment, until we do our further development for the younger ones, because it's just a bit too adult for below that. But they love it. I mean, we've done trials since last year with it up till the holidays, and 70% of the children want it and think it's a good tool for their school. So that was really positive. And just trying to support schools in a really similar way to businesses. Less webinars and more in person because they're children, and if it's quite tricky to engage a teenager on a webinar. But if possible, I have done some stuff on webinars when we've had to, obviously, but it's if possible. But yeah, in the same sort of way, in the therapist support, in looking at it holistically, not just offering counsellors, not just offering triage, it has to be prevention, mild and moderate, to stop them getting to that point where they need therapy in the first place. If you're waiting till people get to that point, there's a lot to deal with then. You're already in a lot of trouble that's going to take months and years to fix. Whereas if we can stop it ever happening, that's kind of the focus.
Brilliant.
A lot of the people, obviously, we talk to as well, Sophie, are direct with HR departments. What would you say to the HR departments that obviously have probably done the same thing as what we've done, which obviously we're trying to make the process as simple as possible for our clients, but obviously ultimately, and again, I'm guessing the same for you, is the people within an organisation that you would particularly talk with are the HR departments. What is this giving them that maybe a missing part of their puzzle at the moment? I guess. I mean, obviously we've seen the online source and what is there, but I think, what can this really help them with? I mean, that's probably the most important question that I could probably ask.
Yes. So what is it? It's going to help with looking at it in a very structured way, in a very pragmatic way, in coming from a place of knowledge around therapies and how to address these problems. This is the sort of stuff we work with day in, day out. And I mean, even to the point of finding a therapist to come into your business, or someone to come and do a talk, or, I've even come across places that have counsellors in that are horribly underqualified for the job, but they're still there. And it's because a lot of therapies are not governed, not properly. There's certain things you need to look for when you're looking at them, and there definitely is guidance needed around that. And there is also the aspect that if HR are looking after everyone else, who's looking after them? They're part of the business as well, and quite frankly, they're stressed enough at the moment because of everything that's been going on. They don't need another job. This is a full-time job for somebody if it's done properly, and they haven't got the time or the capacity or the expertise to take it on at this current moment. If they do, then it might be that it doesn't get done as well as it could get done, because they're already juggling like 10 hats, most of them. So they don't need it. They really don't need it.
Okay, that's good. Tilly, did you have any more questions, Tills? Or
I just wanted to do one more screen share of which screen is it? It's not showing up. Sorry. Just wanted to show where our clients that wanted to further explore. Obviously, on our Will You World platform, you can come along here, and we have our offer with MELP. So we have a free 30-day trial and 50% off your first year. For our corporate clients, we can obviously chat further with Sophie and ourselves, and come together and put together different packages for you. But just so you know, there's more information over on Will You World if you're a client of ours, and if not, you can go to www.melp-app.com.
Right.
Like a good advert.
We've done that before, Till, in your past life, in your TV career. I mean, Sophie, thank you so much. I think that's a really important point. I think you've just raised as well, Tills, is that this isn't just for our corporate clients. This is for our standalone individuals that maybe a one-man band business. Don't get this support currently within their organisation, that actually want some help and some guidance and some support, which at this moment in time, more than anything, there's so many things that affect our day-to-day lives. And I think anxiety is a big part that plays into everybody's lives at the moment, in terms of things opening back up. What is the next month's, the next few months got in store for us? With the economy and COVID and things like that. It's a really, really uncertain time. And I think most importantly for us is that we want to make sure that whether individual or corporate, we're here to help as best we can, and, you know, enjoy your life as best you can. And hopefully MELP, or I know it will be, the people that take up the opportunity with MELP and joining the app and seeing what we can do will be a massive benefit to those and their lives. And I guess thank you so much to everybody that's joined us. If there are any more questions, we're probably going to sign off shortly. Thank you. Oh, did I freeze?
No. No. Plus, I think interesting point from Dave Warren. Yeah. It says at Vitality, 92% of people that utilise CBT do not go on to further treatment, which goes to show how valuable preventative measures are. Fantastic partnership. Thank you, David. Exactly that, you know, that stat shows that, you know, offering that preventative measure is really, really paramount.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.